dreams might be crushed here. So dreams might falter today as we head into the next game.
So far, I doubt we're going to see any real level 1 shenanigans. It's mostly just going to be about some deep wards to get a handle on where junglers are pathing. I think Mirage especially are very interested in where Joko is going to be in the first couple minutes of the game, just because there's a lot of gank potential no matter where he ends up going. And if he manages to invade Memento, that won't be fun for him.
No, it will not be, considering early Viego, not the strongest of guys, you know.
Yeah, not really.
Considering he is the Ruined King, you could say level 1.
Right.
He's like the Ruined Popper. And then eventually he scales up to become, you know, like
the king.
Like a Baron, and then
I
king.
see.
Yeah,
Wouldn't he start off as like a? Did you say commoner?
No, I said the Popper, which is like a commoner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
I agree. See, I know words too.
Yeah, you do. Oh, okay, interesting. Also, we were wrong about lane matchups. It's actually the Akshan in the mid lane into the LeBlanc. I mean, that is more playable. Putting these, swapping these up like this.
Yeah.
I think Kakali plays fine into the Gwen, especially early on.
She does.
And so the Ignite is definitely helpful as well.
Oh yeah, this is a killing right now for Keo. He wants to make sure the bad Lulu has no impact at all on this Gwen. This is what Scarlet's like 5th unique champ that he's played.
It's probably more than that. He's definitely been playing a handful when it comes to that kind of stuff. I swear we were talking about a stat about that too, who has like the most unique champs played. But Scarlet might be one of them. So now we're seeing that Akshan come out mid. I mean, that range, the fact that he went Ignite, he's looking for a kill lane. That is pretty good because you are going to be able to get push mid. Like I was saying, you have push bot, and it shows Solary aren't actually looking to play towards the top side of the map, whereas Memento's pathing upwards. An interesting thing about Memento too, we usually see him on the setup jungle picks.
Yeah.
The Viego is definitely a first for him. Before, we've seen things like Zac, we've seen things like Sejuani, Jarvan, and things like that. So this is definitely going to be a new look for this player, at least so far here in spring.
Memento, we were looking at all the experimentation they've done on the side of Mirage, but this is exactly what we expect outside.
Teleport.
You know, especially from the Volibear pick. Raxo does headbutt one away. Only get the shield down, but they're just simply not there quick enough to capitalize, but to get ready to just teleport, like you said.
I think this is great, though, from Solary. The fact is, you threaten the dive on the 3rd wave. It's so that until Joko showed up, Cody, Sun, and Raxo only just hit level 2. And because the wave got shoved in, they lost a little bit of gold and XP. Rangjun forced to teleport. Otherwise, they would have gotten dived and taken out of the picture. Yeah. Means that Scarlet, using his priority very well, was going to go for the recall here, especially with the wave pushing into him, but I think he doesn't want to risk losing any creeps, so he's going to stay a little bit longer. But ultimately, this is what I like from Solary. That early game proactivity, not just from their junglers, but their solo lanes too.
Yeah, because as I mentioned before, right, Solary is a team that absolutely loves scaling in the late game, right? More often, their games have gone on average past around 32 minutes or so, and most teams do try to capitalize on that by playing super early against them. I remember talking to LDLC a while back against in their game before with Solary that ultimately didn't work out for them, but that's a factor that they have to be wary of. So them making early plays is quite nice, so it sets themselves up to translate for a much slower play in the mid game, and then once you hit the power spikes on Keo, on Scarlet, they're very well set up to make sure the Mirage cannot fight against them. But with an Ezreal alongside the Ruined King himself, with the Viego, they should be fine to contest the 5v5. It just depends on how they choose to fight going towards in the 15 minutes. As because there's because Rangjun actually popped the plant there. So far, you know, they know that Joko, at least not bot side, they know he's top.
Yeah, that is good information. Just to know, especially because now Cody, Sun, and Raxo are getting the bounce back. They don't want to actually, they don't want to get ganked, so it makes a lot of sense. The thing is, too, it's already hard enough for Joko and the rest of Solary to lock down members like we were talking about, even this early into the game. So that's why that kind of cognizance is really important for Mirage here. And I mean, off the back of a big win yesterday against Vitality B, who were tied with first until that loss, they definitely got to be feeling themselves here going into this week. And, well, like I was saying, looking for the fact that I think they've had a 2-0 week only once before, so they could be looking for getting their second one.
You mentioned that before, right? When we were trying to pick up Oplong stats.
Yeah, when I was for some reason, I had the notes. Literally, my notes say Solary versus Mirage, but in the moment, I was like, oh yeah, maybe this is how Oplong can get a win. And I'm like, what?
You know, you're just so high on Coop.
I'm playing like 9D chess with myself.
I'll tell you, man, it's just the copium on the team, man.
True.
We all want Opla to get the first win, but that'll come from much later on. For now, we got to focus on the game in front of us as we see Joko trying to make another potential early play. Rax has already roamed up to link up with Memento. We praised him before for doing this in the way these junglers and supports play together. That's really nice, especially Rax was stepping up in the past couple of weeks on both his Nautilus and now on his Alistar. As Solary get the first dragon, they'll get a little bit of damage on Rax, so the Ignite is taking him, but he's just about half health. Rangjun goes in, doesn't find much on the engage. Will eventually go away, but oh my god, the smite goes in. That's the first dragon, but he loses his life off of it, and that's a kill going over to Azza. A nice Dotty Flourish and a cleanse. Rangjun puts out the change to dissipate any sort of engage.
I think ultimately it's unlucky you got the dragon stolen, but Solary are kind of happy with that one and that they managed to get a kill for it. They get both summoners out of Cody Sun with how much attention they're playing
First
bottom.
blood, too.
Yeah, that's right. They met with how much pressure they're applying to this bottom side of the map. I think that's great. It's going to be that much harder for Cody Sun to be able to actually play safely because you know Joko's going to be able to come back here very, very shortly. And he's getting close to that level 6 mark as well. He's going to have the Stormbreaker, meaning the dive potential is going to be something to fear. As we look back at the top lane, things have been pretty inactive for the most part.
Indeed.
There's just been health trades back and forth, and now finally Memento has come to the top side. He's like, oh, bro, you know what, Bad Lulu, I remember you.
Oh my god, is he getting a gank? This is crazy.
Might actually be the 4th gank like this entire split. And he's not even getting it.
He shows up and baits him and pretends like, hey,
it's like this to make sure the wave shove, to be fair. It's a cover.
That's fair.
It's something.
Yeah, it's half a gank, but you're right. It's still support nonetheless that Bad Lulu is getting, which we've been hoping for and praising and wanting to happen. I'm just glad that my man gets his. But that's what's up right there. On the other end, though, I do want to point out that you mentioned this before, but last time these two teams met, right, Solary already started off massively in control, right? They had Mirage under duress, and like the Carmine game in the first week, all it took was one bad team fight, and the Mirage brought it back. So we'll see if the same thing does manage to happen, but I'm sure Solary have fixed their mistakes, but so have Mirage. These two are very different teams from when they last met.
They have, and that's the exciting thing about Double Round Robin. You get to see how much teams have improved and how much they've managed to get things down, and okay.
All right, she took the stun on Seal back though, but Raxo takes a ton of damage. Cody Sun will have to tank this for him, and should be able to do that. Likely won't die, that's the 4th shot landing. Chunk 2 about half, but at least his support is safe, and Azza will not get a second kill.
And this is great too, because Kyo and Joko are going to be able to go for this Herald here on this top side of the map while all this pressure is being exerted bot lane. It allows Steelback the opportunity to roam. He's out of lane, the pings are there. They know on the side of Mirage that it's probably not good to fight because this Leona is going to come through long before Raxo is able to join the party. Because he's, still standing in that bottom side of the map, and now Joko has access to that Rift Herald. I think even though you lost the dragon, you're happy you're able to secure this, and you're going to be able to drop that one probably on the bottom side of the map and just continue to pressure the likes of Cody Sun.
Yeah, and Cody Sun he doesn't play very far back, right? It is an Ezreal lane, and we have seen Roxo starting to roam more so as he will go for the back this time, and I can go link up with Memento again as he has the upgraded boots. But for now, the Cody Sun will simply just have to be content with pushing waves in, getting one more, backing, and then trying to get to his power points as soon as possible. But such is the life of an Ezreal, though. But we have seen him pop up previously on picks like the Evaluate straight when given some early leads. Before, not likely that will not come to fruition for a very long time, as Solary have accumulated a small gold lead for themselves.
It's probably going to grow once Joko finds that angle to play for here. He's hit level 7, so he has access to the ultimate. With that wave being slowly stacked, first they're going to move together and set up some deep vision. If they manage to actually catch out someone like Memento, that could be a very big deal. But instead they're going to walk onto the on the scuttle, and it looks like he's just going to drop the Herald mid, potentially.
I mean, he should make sense. It's he will need to lock down like 1 or 2 more of these plates to do so. Scarlet doesn't get chunked out. I think he's perfectly fine. Bone plating is a solid little rune that eventually just defy that. Indeed, I agree. But he will instead take the Rotato bot to get more gold into Azza, and rightfully so. There we go. They should be able to get at least about half the tower. We'll be able to chunk it down. And we do see Mementos also in the area just in case.
Yeah, you're going to get some extra gold. It is shared for a couple people, but it is extra no matter what. And it's... Oh, wait, Keo?
He has the Ignite on him. This could be a little bit tough. He has not used his has to land the second for execution. There we go.
The Ignite!
Not enough. Feeling should take him down. The patience from Keo are getting a solo bolo.
And Keo is a player who we saw struggle in the early weeks coming into the league. The only, actually, new player on this roster trying to join the system here at Solary. Really started to come into his own in the later parts of spring. And it really shows on not the tank picks, but the carry picks. When he plays things like Camille and is able to find these either solos or big team fight plays, or the Akali, when he manages to solo somebody like Bad Lulu.
And Bad Lulu we were praising for his Gwen play earlier. We were talking about how he's 1v5 on this pick when he gets ahead.
Yeah.
But although he gets half again, but like you said, he is ultimately not ahead. He does fall behind a little bit of farm. And we're talking about the matchup. Could be quite good for Akali. And the potential that Solary has on assassinating the backline of Mirage, or even just the front line too. Because it obviously squishy. And if Keo becomes a factor in this game, then Mirage will suddenly play a lot more for their vision. Because they will likely get taken out swiftly and surgically.
Things are slowing back down now. This is 2-0 for Solary as they've gotten a 2,000 gold lead here, and because that second dragon was secured by Solary, you can see Raxo setting up some of this deep vision, allowing Mirage to not really just keep control, but just be able to keep an eye on Joko because of how much of an impact this Volibear is able to have. Understanding that he can show up this bot lane at any time, especially with how strong Aza is, already has the Gale Force ready to go here. Means that they have to be very, very careful. Even though Cody's son is behind, he's been doing a decent job keeping up in CS for the most part, despite all the pressure he's been going for. And we know Ezreal is that champion where, yeah, not so great early, can play safe, but once that second item comes through, the Muramana is completed, then this Ezreal suddenly, those Mystic shots are hurting like a truck. And I think that's what Mirage are waiting for. Their moment to fight isn't now. And it's not even in a minute or two. It's probably going to be once those first two mythic items start to come through. Because on their side, the only one they really have is Mementos.
And I think to allow them to get there faster, I'm hoping to try to get Cody's son out of lane, potentially roll him in topside to get Riptile priority and just get more solo gold into him, right? Because if they keep him bot side, then they keep delaying the game more and more so. And leave the game on a timer for Solary to potentially step up and make a play. Now, they've shown that early on they're not opposed to doing so. But Mirage... We've seen them previously, when they let the game happen to them, this go very, very badly unless a team steps up, which they have in the past, but teams are improvising, teams are improving. And we cannot wait for our opponents to simply give us space. We have to make it ourselves. Is what I assume they're thinking.
Probably, yeah. Things on the Mirage's side, still very slow. Not a single kill has gone through yet. The only two deaths they have was when Memento went for the Dragon and when Bad Lulu got soloed. Still, again, they're okay with not having as much early impact. That's why the onus is on Solary to be able to, kind of like you say, it's about you have to make the pressure, you have to make the space for yourself, so you have to create your own leads. Because as time goes on, later on into the game, you got a lot of damage threats on the side of Mirage. I think Rangjun is especially one that's the most interesting, because where most people want to be going for that front to back on their side, Rangjun is going to be a little different. He's going for the alternate angles, trying to go over walls, through bushes, to try and surprise Aza. Oh my god.
Speaking of getting surprised, Cody's son is dead.
Bye.
That's a surprise to him, but Keo might not get out of this. Braxo can't get in range for the stun. Memento was there too. That could have been a nice collapse, but not in range.
Well, the concern of not getting onto Cody's son, I guess, is not a big deal. He flashes and still ends up falling in that scenario.
Unfortunate, but they do get on a steal back, though. He's quite tanky. One more little snip, and there we go. That is support down. Mirage do get one back.
That is nice, but you do lose out a lot in the side lanes because of how much you end up committing to the mid lane. Because Cody's son only just got off respawn, no one's there to answer top, no one's there to answer bot. So you get a kill for Solary off of Keo's play, and you get 2 turrets and a lot of farm for it as well. Now, as long as Keo can recall, this is very successful on their end, and there it is. He's out of there.
Like you mentioned, he's gone. Easy peasy from him, and it's just they catch them all on vision there. That means that Joker cannot move up and get this second Rift Herald for himself. And we're mentioning how teams have actually prioritized Rift Herald more so going into this week. And with this, well, this game is a lot more map pressure, and at least allows them to push off into the side lane, as they already have 2 turrets for themselves. And hopefully this drops mid, just to unleash Scarlet more on the map.
Oh, not able to get the steal there for Cody Sun, but he was kind of close. The Herald is nice for Solary, and the fact that they've been just accelerating this game very smoothly and very nicely so far. You can see it. The gold is gone. The lead has gone from 1 to 2, now up to 4,000 in their favor. And it just seems like Mirage can't quite find any of these angles through. Now we're seeing first items come through on most of this roster. Now they're at a point where they can consider looking for some of these angles, looking for some of these fights.
Yeah.
But you can see it. Solary are already pushing the pace here, as now Scarlet has that quote-unquote alone time with this tier 2, but really, Joko is there near a pink ward, waiting for Bad Lulu to make a mistake.
I mean, he's not waiting beatdown, he's in, but does not have the ultimate just as of yet. A couple of seconds
Doesn't need it.
but doesn't need it, like you said. Really well executed dive, and now more gold into Scarlet's pocket.
And the respect by the remaining members of Solary. They know so much. They know a lot of big tools are committed to this top side of the map. Your Akshan, who's very strong, and of course your jungler on the top side. So Ozzy says, no problem. Please push that wave to me. I will happily farm it from the safety of under my turret. And the only real consolation Mirage get for themselves is the... Oh, wow. For a second, I thought the dragon was stolen.
Imagine.
Yeah. I don't even know what I'd say. But they managed to back off, not lose anything in the process, and it's easy for Joko to be able to just drop Herald, get yet another turret here, putting the turret score for Solary 4-0, and it reflects in the gold lead.
Already over, almost around what, 6K?
6K.
Approximately, yeah.
Good math.
6K thank you, I'm really proud of myself. 6K at around 17 minutes in the game, we were saying how Solary needs to be a lot more proactive with the game, and one way to do so is just focus a lot more on the macro. One thing that we haven't seen a ton of Solary default back to, it's more so just been scaling, waiting, and trying to just unleash and put more gold in the carries like Scarlet, like Keo. So this is a really different thing and really good luck for Solary, right?
Yes.
Because going forward, they have a very tough schedule ahead of them.
They do.
Especially against teams who play beautiful macro.
Right, and this is honestly, I think, for them being one of the teams, actually in the front runner, the only one currently holding 6th place at the moment, it looks really good for them. And I mean, I did say it yesterday, one of the analyst segments, how I think they're probably my bet for who's going to make 6th place, and this is really looking good for them if you're a Solary fan.
Yeah.
Just because if they continue to play like this, they should be able to secure that playoff spot. But of course, it starts with this win. Starts with cleanly closing out that strong early game that you've gotten for yourselves here.
You're like taunting me to say it.
What?
You just keep saying it starts with. So I just know that I'm resisting.
I just want you to know, like, I didn't think of that.
I really did. But one more thing I'm thinking of is how Memento is just dead. Oh man, Rexo was with him, and then he walked away, but he stayed behind the dragon. Unfortunately, it's caught on vision.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Oh no, speaking of getting caught.
He doesn't know he's there.
Oh, he doesn't know.
He has no idea. Okay, that's so nice. Actually, he's right outside the potential alcove gaming, baby.
Yeah, it was a fun addition to the game, especially once people got used to it.
I agree.
And now it allowed Rangjin to be able to get away here, as that is a 1v1 he's not looking for just yet. Oh boy, speaking of 1v1s.
Yeah, it's Kyo's looking for it. He already chunks about a quarter of Bad Lulu's health, right? Just with a little auto and some more of these precision strikes. And we'll move over to the red for himself instead. Bad Lulu, with him being forced away, he knows that he has to go to the side lane to get more gold. Because he cannot side lane by himself. But speaking of being by themselves, Kyo is exactly that, stunned up, but bounce over the wall.
I like that he uses the first hit of the perfect execution. He just stands there. He's like, yeah, you know I'm out, buddy. What are you gonna do? He walks away, yep, and then he just dashes right out. Solary, really difficult to punish them with how mobile some of their carries are. When you think about Akshan, when you think about the Akali, and at this point Mirage, they're in such a difficult position because they're spending all of their time just trying to get control of their side waves, because you can see how far they were pushed in just a minute ago by Solary, how much pressure they have all across the map. Just their ability to split, their 1-3-1 is so good right now just because of how strong Scarlet and Keo are. So Mirage, this point, they're going to have to take a risk and overcommit to a side lane to try and pick up a kill. There are shutdowns for them to be able to get, and being able to pick up some of these kills onto your carries, maybe Rongjun, maybe Code. Actually, kills could go anywhere except Roxo, and I think that would be a really positive play for Mirage. So they are going to have to take that risk and see if they can get some of these kills, because otherwise, they're just slowly losing the game at this point.
Exactly like you mentioned, right? There's bleeding resources across the map, and no proactive play from themselves as of right now will ultimately lead to a loss in a game that they have to win. Mirage's schedule going forward is relatively decent, but a win here for Solary would put them in potential contention for making those top 6 spots. But Solary knows that with them fighting for it, both of these teams want it bad. Is the question about who might potentially want it more. As we're at the final 20-minute mark, Ezreal does have the Essence Reaver. I'm looking for the Merman next. But for now, though, Solary will continue to group up as 3 as they push both mid and bot side. Usher forward, forcing Rangjun and Memento to respond.
Yeah, now, again, you see Solary just pushing in every lane, affecting every part of the map at once here, making it so that Mirage can't actually walk too far out of their base. Not a whole lot for them to be able to do. Again, all they can really hope for is to overcommit to a side lane, make a play here, maybe try and take down Keo. He is flashless on this Akali.
Yeah.
But they don't try any of these things. They want to commit to what it looks like this bottom side of the map, since you have Bad Lulu who can just side lane and teleport to a dragon play. Because Mirage, the only win con they really have left for themselves is this Dragon Soul. At the very least, getting Soul Point, it buys them time. Because we talk about how strong they're going to be once everybody gets to this 2-item mark, even with how far behind they are. When you think about champs like LeBlanc, their ability to just assassinate carries. Actually, Rongjun is already at that 2nd-item mark as well, has the Shadow Flame. So that extra Magic Pen is going to do wonders against people like Aza and Scarlet. So we need a pick to come through. You have to try and force something and not actually go for the 5v5, because Mirage are not going to win that.
We're saying that, right? Just some sort of proactive play to potentially give them some control across the entire map, because you were mentioning, both Keo and Scarlet can side lane. And they can side lane because they're strong and mobile. And because they're mobile and strong, they can side lane. It's like this circle that keeps going round and round and round and round, which Mirage can't just respond to because of what they can do. And because they're so strong as well, they would have to commit more than 3 people to try to punish them. But that might not even come out to anything unless they actually kill them. So it's left for this group up as 3 to 4 in the mid lane. Meanwhile, bot side being pushed, and then Keo goes top side again to push top, and then suddenly they're not committed top side, they're losing Dragon, and round and round and round we go until eventually Solary commits to a fight, and which they potentially lose.
Well, right now, feels hard to imagine Solary losing any sort of fight here at this point. The only real thing going for them again on the side of Mirage is either a pick or you go for a team fight where, the only real thing you can hope for is the Gwen is immune meme, where Gwen is 2 items, really strong, and the enemy team uses all their CC and ultimates on somebody else. We've seen it happen in team fights before, but you gotta imagine Solary know this and are not as inclined to allow Bad Lulu such opportunities to 1v9 as we've seen before, and can't even imagine the kind of mistake it would take for that to come through. And you can see it, Solary so slowly just putting that stranglehold on Mirage, taking out that remaining outer tower, and you can see Mirage want to hold on to this one. This is the overcommitment I was talking about, but there's no play being made off of it. It's just holding this tower. Yeah,
because you see Bad Lulu actually can't come in for any sort of flank at all because he has to now respond to Keo in the mid lane. So with him just being stuck there, this is rough too, because like you said, Mirage are just taking just the brunt force of all of Solary in their faces, and they are simply just stuck waiting to see until they can make a potential Baron play, or they can try to force one themselves actually maybe, and go for a bait, but that's the only chance they have of, luring Solary out of the shadows.
So hard though, because you say shadows, the map is so dark for Mirage because of the lack of vision that they've been able to press. You can see for the most part that their line is very defensive. They managed to get some in the river, but of course because of the pressure Solary have, Steelback is free on his own to just start clearing some of these wards out because he knows he has the ability to do so here. And most of his team is on this side of the map. They constantly have Keo playing away here from the team. Always has that threat for him to join with the teleport, and at the moment nobody on Mirage's side can actually duel him, so it's such a smart call there from Solary.
And this is so fortunate for Mirage, right? Because when we saw them yesterday against Vitality, that was such a big win for them. taking down one of the top teams, if at that point the top team in the league essentially matched with LDLC. And it was a big push, I find, in momentum for them, considering, you know, they were down to luck for a little bit. But for now, they're just simply waiting to see what they can try to push forward. And a 2-0 week would be really nice for themselves. But like you mentioned, I don't know the last time we even had them.
I think it was week 3 for Mirage. It's been some time since they managed to get that, and it might be some time at this rate before we get it again. Solary are doing Solary doing a really good job this game. Again, just choking out Mirage, and Mirage just you can see, you can almost feel the pressure that they're under at the moment here. How defensively they're playing. And if you look, it's been a really slow game too. 26 minutes, 5-1. Because past a certain point, Mirage have just been like, okay, well, we just can't fight. But that lack of willingness to do so has given Solary so much across the map. And they're just trying to... Mirage are basically just trying to farm whatever gold they are allowed to have. And at this point, Solary know, like, wow, okay, they're just in their base. We're going to go ahead and start the bear.
Yeah, finally, there we go. Solary make the proactive play. They're not going to look for the fight, but instead they start the bear, like you said. Seal back on the backside. Looking for anybody to come into him. But for now, it'll simply just be delaying.
Yeah, no, this is fine. You get the teleport there out of Rangjun, and that's what you're looking for out of this play. As soon as they find out, you're able to just walk away, and that's one teleport out. Rangjun can't be too far away from any plays the team wants to make now. And realistically, Solary could just do it again and force Bad Lulu's teleport this time around, because pretty soon you got to imagine Bad Lulu, with that top side being such a focus, is going to get sent to the bottom side after this dragon goes down, because Baron will be the only thing to play for, and with him only having TP, or being the only one with TP active at the moment, he's the only one who can join the fight while taking care of side lanes.
And Bad Lulu, we said, you know, needs to reach a certain power point. Does have.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he has 2 items. He also even has a merch threads too, so.
True.
So you can run away at least, if he gets caught. But
tenacity good.
Indeed. It sounded like hibernating there for a second.
Oh yeah, kind of.
Indeed, a wise choice.
Would you say it's smaller than the diagram?
It's smaller than the diagram. Honestly, I thought it was pretty good.
That's not
personally.
bad.
Yeah, thank you, man. I can't do a convincing Vanguard though, so.
No, I mean either. I don't even try anymore.
It's really hard to do.
It is.
Because just the voice has to be so guttural, but
yeah.
But Solary though, take soul point, absolutely uncontested. Although they go off with the Baron, I find the Baron play would have been nice as it could help them siege. But both teams are kind of just staring at each other like, "Hey, you fight, no, you fight, no, you fight," and that's it. We've been at the spot for like 10 minutes.
We have been. I actually think it's been 10 minutes since the kill has even gone through. It has been really, the game has really slowed down, and though Mirage in some ways may like that, again, the fact that they have a lot of really strong champions late game isn't really going to matter unless this game slows down to the point where, like, we're 40 minutes in, it's like 70k to 70k, and everybody has their full items. Then sure, Mirage have a really good shot here. This is kind of what I'm talking about, Rangjun.
All right, this is a proactive play, right? He was a bit too far forward, and that was nice to chunk him out. They get his flash, so that's solid play. They get something out of it, but they can't kill him, so it's unfortunate, but at least they'll get mid-priority and maybe potentially set up Baron Bay.
Yeah, again, they could just do the very same thing and have Bad Lulu force the teleport out, but instead they're just going to go for the recall because Aza was not there at the moment. He was just coming off the recall. He blew his flash as well as the Gale Force to avoid being taken out by Rangjun, because a pick like that would give Mirage the opening to potentially go for the Baron themselves or take some kind of 5v4 fight that would end up going pretty well in their favor. But at the moment, they didn't get it. Not a whole lot's happening still. And you just see Mirage very happily farming away.
I mean, it's kind of what they're doing, right? Just for both these teams, essentially.
They've been playing Farmville on Facebook, yeah. That's what it's been.
Dude, getting poked on Facebook?
Stop.
Been
I'm sorry I opened this can of... I'm sorry I opened this box. This is my fault.
But I will say what was nice that Facebook was the beginning of where I saw a ton of memes and things.
That's true.
It was quite nice.
Speaking of memes.
Bad Lulu should be dead. I mean, he's not a meme, but he is most definitely dead. Oh, wait, my Gwen is immune. So
that's
he's
a meme.
fine, but Memento finds out on the back thing. He has no flash, but he gets collapsed upon, and the sudden turnout comes in after 15 minutes. Both these teams are giving us a fight, and it results in one death.
And it is the death of someone from Mirage. They tried the stopwatch from Bad Lulu, bought almost enough time for a successful play to come through, but we're really starting to see the gold lead show in these skirmishes and how hard it is to actually take people down before you end up losing your carries. You can see how much damage Keo did in that fight, executing, or being part of the execution of Memento.
Yeah.
What does that mean? They get to execute on the Baron. No jungler, no problem. Raxo.
He's fine. They just,
Is he fine?
No, I mean, I thought he was, but maybe not. The ultimate does not help him. Not enough resistances against Keo. So, this is Baron Barang June looking for an assassinate. But actually, to chunk somebody down. Bad Lulu goes in, gets a bunch of damage, but we just racks of Steelback should be dead. Maybe
Yeah.
Buddy Lancer on Cody's son. Now who's dead? Sonny the Turtle comes
Oh,
in
but
and
he's
look at
back!
that. Oh, buddy, they get it. That's huge. Let's go. That's massive.
Yeah, Akshan passive, very good. Bad Lulu. Oh, maybe he has something here.
I mean, he does enough.
Needlework.
He might be able to get one of it. Yeah, he gets Joko.
Wait a second.
Suddenly
Oh my
determined
God.
to get two. They make it back in time to get enough of them. And now there's only Baron on Keo and Scarlet. The two side lanes we've been talking about the entire time.
Yeah, so at the very least, with how Solary have been able to play, Solary will be able to affect two side lanes at once, but this is kind of a big deal for Mirage to be able to limit the effect that the Baron buff is going to be able to have, just because they lost 3 members,
Yeah.
and the fact that Memento and Bad Lulu got some pretty crucial kills here, and they ended up pinstering them pretty well, even though Raxo was there and then he wasn't, Keo doing his best Magician's impression. A lot of damage came through from the Baron, kind of setting up the fact that, well, Solary were really low in terms of HP. So when you have 2.5 item Gwen, when you have 3 item LeBlanc coming in, there's definitely something that can happen here in this fight. And even though Cody's son gets traded in the process, because wow, that was really quick.
Yeah.
The fact is, trying to continue on into Bad Lulu instead of recalling, I think, is what also hurt them.
Like you said, yeah, it's because Bad Lulu's still a Gwen. We were talking about how he's mastery 2 items, right? So this is just overstepping, and this is kind of what happened the last time they met as well. Especially, you know, it was Keo
That's
kind
true.
of getting caught. And for small steps like this, although they were ahead the entire game, just missteps and overforcing, leading to them losing the game. But this might not be that, though. Raxo, they're inside.
Oh,
Curtain
got
called
him!
the snipe on Rangjun. That was beautiful. And now comes in Keo,
Oh my
the second
God.
assassinate, the deletion, realistically. And one more goes down. That is 4 dead on the side of Mirage.
Wait.
And with 2 Barons and the
Yeah.
wave pushing in, they can't exactly end the game, but they can probably get some in it.
They have a mid lane, they have a mid wave coming in. Joko's just going to go ahead and tank. They might be able to end it. We're still looking at 30 seconds on everyone else as now the wave is coming through. Keo is just going to pressure Bad Lulu. They could look to close things out. It is going to be the 1 versus 5. We talked about Bad Lulu's Gwen. Well, it's going to have to show up here.
It literally has to be 1v5
Tower's
with a tower disabled, and you not being immune for much longer than that means. You're gone and Dunzo, and so is this game. Solary made us sweat for it, but they did eventually end up beating Mirage in their revenge.
And a much cleaner